Hello everyone, my name is Rocky Jr. and today we are going to learn how to conjugate verbs in present simple, in affirmative. Most of people, they have some problems when it comes to conjugate verbs in present simple. Sometimes when they are conjugating verb in the third person, they just put it in the same way they put in the first person. For example, sometimes we can see people conjugating the verb to speak. For example, I speak, and also he speak. And now we are going to see how it works, because it's wrong when you conjugate it like this. And today we are going to learn all the rules that you are going to use to conjugate the verbs. We have now an example here about the conjugation of verb. We have a verb to eat, and in the first person we say I eat, and the second you eat. But when we are already here in the third person, we will have to change it. We will have to add something, and this thing that we've added is s. For example, I eat, he eats, because of third person. And today we are going to learn the rule how to conjugate them, those verbs that change when they are being conjugated in the third person. The first rule is when the verbs end with O, double S, CH, SH, OZ, we are going to add E and S in the end of the verb. For example, the verb to do, to go, to watch, and to wash. In the first person, we say I do, and in the third person, we will say she does. It's like this, the way we are going to conjugate this verb. And another example is the verb to watch. We say I watch. And in the third person, we are going to say he watches. It's like this, the way we are going to conjugate these verbs. When it ends like this, with these letters there. And we have the second rule. The second rule is when the verb ends with y, and before the y we have a vowel, we are going to add s, like this. For example, the verb to play. The verb is here, play, pray, and pay. When you go and buy something, you have to take the money and give the person. Play. The verb ends with y. I play. We say it in the first person of singular. But in the third person, when we are conjugating the verb, we have to pay attention to the last letter. For example, here we have y, but before y, we have a vowel. That's why we are going to add s, how says the rule. Okay? It's like this. I can say I, or better, she play. It is wrong. We will have to say she plays. Plays what? It can be football or soccer, or people say. This is the rule. For example, there is another example here. Can use you. It's second person, and it doesn't change when it is second person. It's the same thing. We, or better, you play, and she play. It is wrong when you say she play. You will have to say she plays according to the rule. Okay? And let's move on to the second, or better, to the third rule. When the verb is ending in y, and before the y there is a consonant, we replace the consonant with I, E, and S, like this. For example, we have some verbs here, and we are going to make some examples. The verb to fly, to dry, to try. We have a lot of verbs that ends with y. But today we are going to make some example using these verbs here. In the first person, we say I fly. I say I fly, although it's not true, but if I feel that I'm able to fly, I can say I fly. And there is a person that also thinks the same thing, and I have to say to someone that that one flies. I would say she. I will know. We have to replace y, okay, this y here, with I, E, and S. I will have to write it flies. It's like this. We conjugate the verb in the third person in present. Another example is they dry. They dry. I can't say here she. I cannot say she dry. Why? Because of the third person. How says the rule there? When the verb ends with a Y and before the Y we have a consonant, we will have to replace Y with I, E, and S, and it's read, she dries. It's like this, the way we are going to conjugate this verb. But there are some verbs that don't follow even this rule, and that rule. For example, verb to speak, it doesn't end with O, S, S, C, H, S, H, O, Z, even Y. But when we find verbs like these that don't follow or none of these rules, we are going to add just S. For example, verb to speak. As you could see here, we have the verb to eat. I eat, you eat, he eats, she eats, it eats. It's like this. The third person, it changed, and there is S. And we have here the verb to speak. I speak. I speak what? English, for example. I speak English. English language, it will depend on the person. She, when you say she speak, it is wrong. We will have to add S. She speaks. She speaks what? It can be English, French, another language. But there are also some verbs that when you are conjugating, they follow their own rule. For example, although they change in the third person, but they don't follow this rule. It's verb to be, and to have. These two verbs, they are different. They don't follow this rule. They are different. Let's make a difference here so that you can understand how it works. We have here verb to be, for example, to be. It is I am, you are, he is, she is, it is, we are, you are, and they are. This is present simple of verb to be. But we also have verb to have. This also doesn't follow this rule of adding an S when it ends with the O, because to have doesn't end with this letter. And we are going to conjugate it like this. I have, you have, he. We will say has. Don't say haves. If you say he haves, you are wrong, right? Great. You'll say has, it is has, and you are going to put have here, right? We are together, and I hope you could understand what I've explained. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Goodbye.